The Golden State Warriors might not be at the center of the next Kevin Durant blockbuster, but they could still be part of history. According to Fred Katz of The Athletic, the Houston Rockets and Phoenix Suns are working on expanding the Durant trade into a 7-team deal, the largest in NBA history. The Warriors, along with the Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets, Los Angeles Lakers, and Minnesota Timberwolves, are reportedly being discussed as part of the multi-team framework. While Golden State isn't expected to send or receive any major pieces, their involvement could help move salary and finalize some of the already agreed-upon deals that are pending execution. In a would-be 7-team trade, there is an unprecedented amount of detail, Katz wrote. At least in the iterations of the deal discussed so far, most of the recognizable names are from trades that have already been agreed to and reported, but not yet finalized. Warriors already tied to Durant and the Rockets. It's fitting that the Warriors are still loosely involved in a Durant deal. They reportedly pursued the superstar score. Ultimately, they landed Jimmy Butler at the deadline. Now, with Durant on the move to Houston, Golden State may help clear the runway. This could become one of the most complex trades in league history. According to Katz, the current iteration includes Durant heading to the Rockets, while Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, and a package of picks land in Phoenix. Clint Capella would be rerouted from Atlanta to Houston via sign-and trade. The rest of the moving parts involve draft picks and minor contracts. Many are tied to trades from draft night that can't be finalized until July 6th. Golden State could benefit from the chaos. Even if the Warriors don't land a player, there's still value in staying involved. Jonathan Kuminga's future remains uncertain, and reported interest in veteran big man Al Horford is still lingering. By helping facilitate this mega deal, the Warriors could gain a minor asset, create a trade exception, or improve their own positioning heading into the remainder of the offseason. The trade isn't finalized yet, but if the 7-team monster deal goes through, the Warriors will have once again been part of NBA history. Kevin Durant right in the middle of it. The Golden State Warriors' second timeline has had one last piece hanging on by a thread. That is 22-year-old Jonathan Kuminga. Since being picked in 2021, Kuminga's tenure has been streaky. And one time he had a bad haircut. While he is still regarded as a promising young player, he just never seemed to quite gel with the Warriors scheme. I don't know. Maybe the Warriors are mad about that. The team that showed they were a few too many light years ahead to properly assess a prospect like James Wiseman might be a little bit pissy. It's nice the Valkyries exist now, but it's a rough time in the Bay Area. After all, it's been over 2 years since they won a championship. For lifelong Warriors fans who believe the team came into existence in 2015, that's just way too many. Counting goes like this.
1, 2.
Too many. Someone has to pay for this. Kuminga, you're going to Sacramento. That's right. According to an NBC report, lifted and placed on Reddit, the Warriors, Kings, and Detroit Pistons are discussing a 3-team blockbuster that would send Kuminga and veteran point guard Dennis Schroeder to Sacramento in separate sign-and-trade deals. For two franchises that seemed entirely moribund a dozen years ago, the peaks they have since reached have really can't be compared. For championships versus the first playoff appearance in 17 years. Unanimous MVP versus Kevin Huerter had a good season one time. Star players moving to and from the team to help the greatest shooter of all time extend a championship window versus acquiring Kuminga gives us championship experience. It's not fair. So it goes. Let's all sing Kumbaya but replace it with Kuminga. It doesn't fit perfectly, but if you really insist on it and really go at it with confidence, you can make it work. Ask my cat. I've been singing it to her while she sits on my right hand, making it nearly impossible to write this article. She seems happy. Maybe I should stop. If we're looking at this from a positive frame of mind, this could be the fresh start Kuminga needs. The game in Golden State was never going to be tailored to his talents. As long as Steph is there, Stephish things are going to happen. Split pick and roll, movement shooting, not a lot of breaking down your defender one-on-one. I think Kuminga likes doing other stuff. He will have way more space to do it in Sacramento. But if we're comparing situations as it relates to the quality of the basketball team next season and the reliability of basketball decision-makers, and every team has this in some fashion, The specific blend of ugly ownership opinions, going from the Warriors to the Kings, is kind of a downgrade. It's like when the food stamps run out and you go from the tastier brand of tomato sauce to the Kroger kind. I mean, it's still technically tomato. It's still technically an NBA team. He's going to be fine. But in one case, you can go into the season thinking we still have Steph, so we still have a chance to win it all. In the other case, you're just making extremely mid-chili. I put beans in mine. I don't do most things Texas tells me to do, and I'm better off for it. So if this were to go through, you could see it as revenge if that makes you happy in some weird, gross way. Have fun navigating life with that kind of brain. I'd rather just think it's a deal that makes sense for all sides involved. The second timeline was entirely contained within the first. I think it's best just subsumed and forgotten. If LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers decide to end their partnership, the Golden State Warriors have the easiest path to trading for the future Hall of Famer, according to Fred Katz of The Athletic. Katz singled out Jimmy Butler as the Warriors' obvious salary match for James. Butler makes a tad more than James does, marking the trade legal, though if it were constructed this way, it would hard cap the Lakers at the first apron, since they'd be absorbing more money than they send out in a deal. If the Lakers were fine with that, they could execute the one-for-one trade, Katz wrote. And even if the Lakers want to duck the first apron, roping in a third team would not be hard for the Warriors. Golden State and Los Angeles could find a third team willing to take on one of the Lakers' minimum salaries, say Jordan Goodwin's, without giving any salary back. This way, the total money leaving the purple and gold is above Butler's incoming salary, Katz wrote. The Warriors still have plenty of draft capita, 3 second-round picks, to incentivize a team with cap room, such as the Brooklyn Nets, to absorb Goodwin's $2.4 million salary. LeBron James hints at possible trade demand. James sent a veiled threat to the Lakers through his agent, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports CEO, after picking up his $52.6 million player option. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Paul told ESPN. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie, Bus, and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. The Lakers made a seismic organizational pivot from James when they traded for Doncic, swapping Anthony Davis, James' closest friend on the team, and a fellow Clutch Sports client. Upon Doncic's arrival, the Lakers quickly catered to his demands, leading to the rescinded Mark Williams trade, which didn't go unnoticed in James' camp. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future, Paul continued. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. It remains to be seen how James feels about the Lakers' moves in free agency. The Lakers have lost Dorian Finney-Smith, their top 3, and D-Wing, and replaced him with an improving 23-year-old Jake LaRavia. And their answer for their most pressing need at center was to sign former number 1 pick DeAndre Ayton, whose questionable work ethic led to the Phoenix Suns and Portland Trail Blazers souring on him. But the Lakers could not have done any better than Ayton at $8.3 million price point, the remaining portion of their non-taxpayer mid-level exception after accounting LaRavia's 2-year, $12 million deal. Warriors pursued LeBron James last year. The Warriors pursued James last year, but they got rebuffed. They have a higher chance of getting traction now if they're going to revisit it. Trade talks didn't go far at all, James said on TNT's Inside the NBA broadcast on February 18, 2024. I actually heard about it when everybody else heard about it. Obviously, Charles Barkley has been in the league, Kenny Smith has been in the league, Shaq has been in the league, and sometimes there's conversations that happen behind closed doors that you don't even know about. According to Substack's NBA insider Mark Stein, it was Paul who nixed the talks before they even got past the exploratory stage. It is believed that the Lakers would have reluctantly entertained trade conversations with the Warriors before last February's trade deadline if James wanted them to seriously engage Golden State on a potential deal. Yet league sources say that the reported talks between the teams at the time never got that far, in large part because James' agent Rich Paul was adamantly opposed to the idea of James swapping Southern California for Northern California, Stein wrote. Paul was protective of James' image, according to Stein. Sources say Paul implored both teams to scrap the concept, despite some owner-to-owner dialogue between the Warriors' Joe Lacob and the Lakers' Jeannie Buss, and Green's determination to lobby James to push for relocation to the Bay Area, largely because he wanted to insulate James from potential backlash over switching teams for the fourth time in his career, Stein wrote. But with the Lakers having a new franchise player and new majority owner, the circumstances have changed for James and the Warriors.